Do we really need all of you for a trumpet
you never
player?
know. You never know what a man with a trumpet's capable of.
Oh wow, the trumpet guy is so threatening.
Black Lives Matter.
No, he's media. We need him on the car. He's media. For motherfucking George Floyd! For all the real motherfuckers who are 6 feet under right now! They did not die in vain!
Yes! Yes!
Woo! Woo!
That's right. Yup.
We got this on lock, guys. They are never getting this precinct back. And we're on our way to the West Precinct, motherfuckers!
So everything that I've told you, especially this point right here, about Sunday morning with SDOT and Parks and everybody clearing the area.
Nobody decided on the autonomous zone. No one decided that. This was just a protest. We don't intend on seceding from the nation. None of the residents or business owners here in Capitol Hill intend on seceding from the nation. So that day, we came up with the name CHOP just as damage control because the narrative has already been told. CHOP, Capitol Hill Organized Protest, is the name that we're trying to push because this is just a protest.
We're trying to improve the union, not secede from it.
I mean, are there roles in the CHOP? Are there jobs?
Kind of. It's more of help where you can. Everybody here is a volunteer, so just if you're good at something or you want to help somewhere, there's always some place that needs help.
Yeah. So what have you been doing for the most part while you're down here?
Mostly just safety and security.
Yeah. So what does that mean? I mean, do you stand by the border?
Stand by the border, de-escalate fights, try to help bring down agitators and stuff like that, and talk to the press like you guys.
We've been making decisions as a group mostly. Like we have leaders and facilitators who organize a lot of what's going on here, and a lot of decisions are made amongst the crowd.
So there is leadership in the CHOP.
Yes, there is.
What's the leadership system like just from your perspective?
Most of it seems to be very democratic.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are part of the leadership are followed because that's just who people decided to follow.
When I came down here, I've been an activist for 10 years. So my motto in it was there's not a lot of older generations out here helping the younger generation, so that's where I stepped up. And if you notice, a lot of security got done since I got here. It's calm more down whenever there's people arguing. I'm there to make sure we take that negative and turn it to a positive because we don't need any negativity. We're here for a cause.
There's a lot of different people that have down here for a lot of different reasons. I think it's very good for everybody to believe in something and support what they believe in. And, I feel like a lot of people are down here for good reasons. Otherwise, they wouldn't be down here. And I think it's important for somebody that cares this much about it, at least have a reason to be heard, at least have a right to be heard.
Yeah. It's a great community for people. Everyone out here is really looking out for each other for the most part. Good. Yeah, it's nice. It's a beautiful thing that I've seen out here. It's been tainted by some outsiders and by the media, but at the core, it's a beautiful thing.
I'm going day by day. Every day is different. Yeah. Every day, everybody's mood is different. Word is holding this precinct down until our demands are met. Not only are we working to get the demands met, but we're also making positive change in a positive form.
I mean, it's peaceful. To me, it's peaceful. I mean, people control it. People try to control as much as they can, except that like there's so many kids here who need mental health.
This is no joke. I know it sounds like I'm joking a lot. This is real, okay? There's a man named Robbie, and he was in our camp, and he is mentally ill. He's very childlike, and he also is a little bit crazy sometimes, but we take care of him. We love him, and he was actually for the first time getting something like a community when he was here.
We were supporting him in a way that our society has failed to for his entire life.
Yeah, yeah.
In 2 weeks, we are a community that grew up out of nothing. None of us knew each other. We got to know this man and have supported him and have been welcoming him. And he has stopped his violent outbursts that he was prone to when we met him.
Yeah, he was.
That's all I have.
So they arrested him?
No, they arrested him. I'll tell you how. I was going to play the trumpet on a mission like we just went on. Look, I say fight cops. Did you see us do anything nefarious? No, not at all, right? But when I say fight cops, we go and we play music at the cops. Well, Robbie wanted to come along, so he did, and wasn't even with the car. I was just walking. It was 2 blocks away. And Robbie came, and he was sitting on the concrete like a fucking child, clapping his hands. And the cops fucking jumped him, dude. And I could not believe it. I froze because I didn't think it was real. It was like, I can't believe they would do that. He was non-threatening. We have a video of it, guys. He was sitting on the fucking ground. So they fucking jumped his ass, and now we need Robbie out right now, or we will burn this motherfucker down.
Free Robbie. Free Robbie. You heard it.
They
here
want
first.
us to burn it.
Free Robbie,
Don't
motherfucker.
say that.
We'll burn something down.
They need to help them. I mean, they need help.
Yeah.
To my own opinion, they need help. They need a big help. So many kids out here, and I mean, drugs and everything. Yeah. I mean, they're not that violent, the people with mental health, but they carry chicks around. I mean, they can scare people, but not that much.
I know there's some people down here that, have mental health problems and maybe haven't found a community like this before. Do you think this is a good environment for them, or is it the same as they always get?
I'd say it's better than they always get. They're definitely a lot better fed. There's definitely more people willing to protect them or look out for them, make sure they're okay. We've had medical staff on standby quite a few times. So, most of the time where if something happened to them, they were kind of just on their own. At least now we have people that can respond and help them get the help they need.
People have to remember out there that we're dealing with people who do drink, who do drugs, people who are homeless. That's a lot of personalities that we have to control, So we're being doctors, we're being therapists, and people don't see that. They just see what they want to hear. We're doing more than that.
You got to help with people with mental illness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm fighting for people with mental illness.
Yeah.
I'm fighting for people for trans Black Lives Matter. I'm fighting for the Black trans people.
Yep.
I'm fighting for my daughter's future as well.
We're not even inside the precinct. We're just occupying outside of it, and we own it. They're never getting it back.
Okay.
Are people inside the precinct at all?
No, we are not touching the precinct. We're just here holding it hostage, if that's what you want to call it, holding it down.
3 demands has always been our demands. Defund the police by $200 million, free all protesters, and fund our communities via defunding the police. Because until we defund the police and provide the communities for community intervention instead of police intervention, we're not going to get anything done. I looked at the Seattle police budget. You can actually defund the Seattle police by $210 million, $78 million from patrols, $50 million from leadership, and you give about $105 million to Seattle Parks and Rec, and the rest to other programs within the city.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really easy. It's usually 1, 2, 3. It's usually defund SPD by at least 50%, reinvest that money in Black and underprivileged communities, and number 3, amnesty, not just release, amnesty of all political prisoners, of which I was one, was recently released, and they still have motherfucking charges on me for playing the trumpet and doing shit like this.
We're asking for simple things, like the most 3 simple things are. Police officers, have to have cameras on 24/7. If they don't, they're fired, Right. They have to get disciplined for that. Yep. Not only that, but we're tired of police officers that are fired, get rehired. I get fired from a job, I'm not going to get rehired.
Yeah.
What makes them have that privilege?
Yeah.
No, it's not how it works. We want them to defund the police, at least, we're not saying defund them fully 100%, by 50%, so we could build a community center. It's not like we're asking to build a club, a restaurant. We're asking for a community center for the children.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's wrong with that. With all these police, stations that they have, precincts they have, you can't afford to do a community center for the children?
Antifa basically just means anti-fascist, and there are quite a few people here who are very much anti-fascist, but Antifa as an organization doesn't exist. It's just an idea. Here we are organized, and like I said, some of us are armed, but it's not Antifa. It's just people working together. The people who are armed know what they're doing, and it's purely there for just to help protect people. Like, if you look around, none of us are even carrying them around.
Yeah.
So if there are firearms, that's not what we're here for. It's purely a self-defense thing, not an organized terror thing.
No one here is Antifa. No, we're not destroying anything. No one has broken into the precinct.
Yeah.
If you notice, everybody is peaceful. Everybody's in their own world.
Yep.
This is like our own community center right now. And we have our staff that's running it. It's like the police force. They have to go into training for 4 to 5 to 6, whatever weeks it is, in whatever state they live in, to do whatever weeks they have to do to train. And look at us. We're not in training, and we're controlling a lot of people. You don't see us hurting people, punching people, choking people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why can't they, be like us?
Yeah.
We're showing a difference. We're not saying that we don't need the police, but we're showing them, like, if y'all weren't here, this is what we would do. We would take care of our people.
Right.
And they're not doing that.
Right.
Instead, they're putting fear into our children.
I mean, granted, most people here actually selling shit are like donating to the causes, which is awesome. And there's actually like a lot of cool shit here in the beginning, but now it's just kind of like a tourist attraction. It's just like a Pike Place market, but with like a better cause. Like people have an actual incentive to come here.
I have no problem people taking pictures. Personally, I've been in activism for 10 years. I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah.
But this is not Pike Place Market. You want to take a picture? Go to Pike Place Market.
Right.
This is not This is a freaking Capitol Hill. This is a freaking LGBTQI neighborhood. This is not a tourist destination.
If people come down here just to see it, just to check it out, is that wrong in and of itself?
No, because that's just like body count when it comes to like supporting, like that, regardless if people come down here, regardless of intention, like you're still showing up for a cause.
Yeah.
And I get that, but like it's just the inconsistency of the energy. It's like the people who are like chilling at home during the protests because like I don't want to catch corona, or like, oh, like we gotta stay home, and then they come out here and I see them fucking posting to the stories of having a dance party and shit like that. Like it just, shit don't add up. So like, I mean, regardless, like I appreciate like the positivity and the energy, but I feel like it's getting lost in a sense, and a lot of focus is being shifted more towards the idea of CHOP rather than the BLM movement.
Everything's going to be a distraction. The violence that's happening in here is going to be a distraction. The hippie movement is going to be a distraction. Everything's going to be a distraction. And I think people are losing focus, really, the bigger task at hand, which is police brutality and trying to get some injustice around here.
Buy from the businesses, walk through the neighborhood, enjoy the neighborhood, but you don't need to make this a tourist destination. This is not Pike Place Market.
How do you feel about how the media has covered this whole movement?
They did a fucking horrible job. They did an absolute horrible job. I've been on the front line since day one with my camera. I broke my lens and some more shit here. And you can't tell me that the media was here to actually cover it its entirety. They only did bits and pieces of it. And it was only the negative ones that they had bits and pieces of. And then people's judgment of CHOP became different because of what they seen on TV. So to hell with the media, that's for sure.
Have you seen any of the media coverage of it? How do you feel like they've represented it?
I mean, I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't really seen anything that matches reality, if that makes sense. A lot of it seems to be coming off of like official reports from the city, which do not match reality whatsoever.
Has anyone else come through and asked you questions?
No, not that much.
Have you seen a lot of media and cameras and people with mic?
I mean, most of them lie. I mean, that's why I don't like talking to media people.
Yeah.
Most of them, they lie. I mean, there's a day I went home, then I tried to switch on the TV, then see what's going on. Then I saw one of the ladies that I saw here making news, and she was just telling lies and lies after lies after lies. Then I was like, why? Why do they have to do that? They gave people another impression that this place was violent, and it wasn't even violent at that time. So, and I don't even think even it's violent. I mean, it's only few crazy people who come here with guns and go.
Yeah. Most of the media that I see portrays us as an absolute chaos zone. We're anarchists, we're terrorists, and that just isn't true.
It's like you're recording, but you're not putting the facts out there.
Right.
You're just putting the garbage out there.
Yeah.
You know, and there's more to CHOP than that. You know, we help with people with donating the food. Anyone could come up to this table right here and get whatever they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we don't deny anything. If anybody wants to come out here and they don't have a tent, we find a way to get them a tent. We make sure they're as comfortable as we can make them.
I mean, the violence is done, the looting is done, the rioting is done.
Right.
These are just people throwing off their chains. That's all I see.
Yeah. Right.
The looting only happened downtown. Then the protest came here, I think, 3 days later after the looting. So here it was much peaceful.
When the city made the barricades, we were really conflicted about it, but then realized that this can actually really boost our safety because now people can't just drive in and start shooting at us. That one shooting happened right at the corner there at the edge. And
did you know the guy who was involved in that?
I did not know him personally, but I was there when it happened. And it's horrible, and I'm glad that these barricades are protecting the protesters because not too long before that there was another drive-by shooting. No one died, I believe, in the first one, but a driver just came right through the barricades, the plastic and fence barricade, and right into the crowd. And so these concrete barricades have been, I believe, keeping us safe.
Before, I never used to see fights.
Yeah.
I only started seeing fights for the last 1 week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
this past 1 week, yeah, it's the only one I've seen only fights. Yeah, and you can see like the kid who was shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he was trying. It was all about fireworks, you know. The kid was trying to tell them to stop doing it.
Yeah.
So, and him trying to tell them to stop, that's where they started like having a quarrel, then he was shot.
That kid that died over there, I was here that night, and then he got shot. But if you look it up, his parents got on the TV and said that he wasn't a part of CHOP. He was having a good time and ran into people that didn't want to let him have that time. So, you know, that's a very common thing that happens in the States, and the only time you hear about it is when it happens here at CHOP and when they could use it.
Yeah. So for the most part, have people been peaceful down here?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay.
And then most of our agitators are repeat guys. It's the same guy every time we deal with them, and then they'll come back later.
When people came out here first, did they come out here peacefully?
Yeah, they came out here peacefully. We're trying to figure out how they're going to build leadership, how they're going to build other things. But people that weren't really involved in the movement or had other ideas came in here and were like, well, we want a leadership position, mostly police informants and agitators. So now we're trying to figure out how to get rid of them, but people are not on the same page regarding how to do that.
This was an accident. We didn't intend for this to happen. The police making a barricade here in the first week, I mean, that was a surprise. We didn't think that they'd retreat and abandon the station. The day the police chief did her press conference here a few weeks ago, we noticed actually early that morning, that the doors were open and that you could just walk right in. And so we got some boards, plywood and some 2x4s, and some people boarded it up even more, and so you couldn't open the door. And so when they showed up, they were actually a little confused that they couldn't get in. But yeah, we think it was a setup because actually that day they had a bunch of officers like out on 16th waiting for the riots to start, but they never did.
So how do you feel like the mayor and their administration has handled this whole thing?
Oh, they've just been fucking up left and right. They don't know where the people are at. They don't know what we're wanting. They're watching Fox News to get their information or something. They're not out here seeing what's actually going on. No one really is out here. Amari over there, he's out here seeing what's going on. Apparently you guys are, but not really anybody else is.
Jenny Durkan.
Can I swear?
Yes, absolutely, as much as you want.
Fuck her.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Yeah.
I am not one to hold grudges or be resentful, but if she drove off a cliff tomorrow, I would probably just cheer.
So why? I mean, what's the main reason why everyone is so angry at her?
I mean, because she's lied. She said, stop using tear gas, and then gave the order to use tear gas again. Everything that she does involved with this is just for optics and trying to get it to shut down. And, you know, she's just a corrupt politician, basically, who's not understanding the cause. And, I mean, even at the beginning of everything breaking out, she was more concerned about the windows on Nordstrom than people's lives. So... Yeah. You know, she's not respectable and definitely not a leader.
I know they just talking about they had a meeting with the mayor today. Do you know anything about that, how that went?
I heard it went off at 2. Heard it wasn't really constructive.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny, people that showed up to that meeting didn't have this simple 3 list of demands.
Oh, really?
It was kind of funny to me. So,
yeah.
I mean, who the fuck is going to go to a meeting and be like, I want to nicely give you back something when you have it in your possession, you know? Right. People are getting deceived with gun violence, like that's brand new.
So here's what we're doing right now. The city wants to come out and take our barricades. They want to negotiate with us. Well, when you start negotiations, you don't start where you want to end up. You start on the extreme. So we're starting with adding more barricades. That's where we want to start. We'll end up somewhere in the middle. But this is how we're starting our negotiations. We ain't gonna buy that. Oh, well, we just want to remove a couple barricades. No, we want to add more, motherfuckers.
We're not gonna let it happen. That's just facts. She could come all she want. You know, this is not just us camping. This is revolution. We're not gonna give up. You want us to trust you? Give us that leeway where we could trust you. This goes to the mayor, to the governor, everyone in government. And I don't want to hear that you can't give us our demands. You can when you sit around that circle with your team and you can make it happen. You know, not once that she came down here to talk to us. No, she sent, you know, her little piggy pigs to do it.
So how do you feel about the meetings with the mayor that's been going on? How's the mayor been? Yeah?
She's bullshitting.
Yeah.
So we had a caseworker a long time ago came out here and said, we're going to get resources for the homeless people. There's no resources out here. 211 is a goddamn joke. I stayed in Federal with my kid.
Yeah.
And I stayed in Tacoma. And we stayed at friends. We were in a room from a friend's house. It's no resources.
Yeah.
It's a damn joke.
I honestly see it like, I know some people were talking about like a culture event, like they regroup here every year or so. But honestly, like I give it like, my deadline is like a week until they get all the barricades out. And then you're going to have homeless people camping out there for like another month and a half. Yeah. So long as there's protests in the area, there are going to be people like taking advantage of it, you know, to just like kind of do whatever the fuck they want.
If they meet our demands, yeah, I'll probably go somewhere else where it needs attention. I mean, I never was much of an activist before this, but if there's more fucking injustice, more police brutality elsewhere, then it needs to be addressed. Yeah. So if they meet our demands here, we're moving to the next place.
I mean, now it's lost its cause, so I mean, I'd like if they restructure it and try to do something else.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this can work out. There's no way we can fix it anymore.
Yeah.
We just need to dismantle it and try to move forward.
If all demands were met, would you guys leave or would people continue to occupy?
We will leave.
Okay.
Once all of our demands are done and shown.
Yep.
Because they could say, oh, we're going to do this, and then as soon as we leave, they're not going to do nothing. Yeah. So actions speak louder than words. Show us.
Yeah.
We want it, you know, notarized on paper.
Yeah.
You know, official. You know, and that's when we leave.
Yep.
We're not here to cause harm. We're here because we're tired of it.
I'm really hurt because of what happened to my goat. My goat was shot and killed by police officers.
Your goat was shot by police?
Yeah, the goat was shot by police last year around Thanksgiving. Wow. And I lost my driver's license in Florida 10 years ago. Because I was living in my car and they didn't like homeless people, so they literally follow me around just to harass me, trespassing me from every place I go, and writing me traffic tickets, and it was really hard, that like I seen so much police brutality against anybody of poverty, and I really feel for these people of color because they lived throughout generations of poverty. You know, they were poor, their mother was poor, their grandmas were slaves, and, you know, People don't treat you right if you're poor. Don't matter where you go.
Right.
It's people with money and power that have all the money and all the power. So
Man, what's up? How you feeling right now?
I'm gonna just say this. It's a lot of marching going on, and then that's it. It's a lot of video recording going on, and that's it. What we gonna do in the communities? What we doing to the youth? Are we coming with the school supplies this summer for them when they go back into school? Because a lot of people that's unemployed right now, so they can't afford school supplies and shit like that. Right. But we can march around and then criticize people for marching and stuff. You don't know what's going on. We're shooting a whole documentary right now just to help support what's going on in the colonization of what they've been doing to us. They're mad because the people right here out here occupying this Capitol Hill, which is ours. We pay for cops to work, right? Through our tax dollars. We here and they took over this area, right? Didn't they come over here and take over the land? Didn't they kick out the Native Americans? Didn't they try to take away history? Now they got us walking around arguing with each other about fucking marching. Like marching gonna do something for us. How long we been fucking marching? Let's do something besides marching. Stop acting like it and be about it. That's what I got to say. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, have a good one. Keep it up.
You too.
Back then, you were whipping our ancestors with the whip. Now you're shooting us or putting your knee on our neck. We're still in slavery, just people aren't seeing it because a lot of it's underground. And a lot of people need to know this out there. You want us to respect the flag? Why would we respect the flag? Why? The first 12 presidents owned slaves. That Constitution and that flag was built off of that. Those colors weren't built for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not like, we're just holding down the precinct. We're trying to do change all the way to the White House and down. And it hurts me with the military even more because y'all supposed to be here for us and you guys got KKK clans in there.
Man, stop with this Black Lives Matter. Everybody matters, man, but we got to be powerful in our blackness, man. So black and powerful, man. It's not a diss towards any other culture, but we got to bring our culture back first. And I think all of us need to learn it at a younger age instead of a later age of our history. So
we'll be here till the demands are met.
How do you see this ending?
I see this tomorrow with SDOT most likely coming in here, removing a lot of the barricades like they said they were. And I think that it's probably going to be somewhat of a protracted standoff there at the East Precinct. But, I mean, ideally, however it ends, I'm hoping. While I think it's going to end, let me tell you how I hope it ends. Yeah. I hope it ends peacefully. Absolutely. Yep.
As an immediate step, tens of millions of dollars have been cut from SPD's budget, but Chief Best is conducting a deep review of the budget to assess what functions might be moved to other departments and what the core functions of the department are. She and I will never compromise public safety, but we believe we can reimagine policing and invest in community. Let's lead the nation, Seattle, and show how this work can be done. In addition to making SPD's budget transparent, I'm committed by finding more ways to partner with the community to ensure that they have a say in what policing looks like in our city. BIPOC communities have been left behind for far too long, and it's imperative that our budget reflect our commitment to investing in those communities. Undoing centuries of systemic racism will not happen overnight, as I've said before. But I do believe Seattle can lead the way in addressing injustices and ensuring everyone, regardless of their race, can achieve their full potential. Racism is hardwired into our institutions and permeates almost every aspect of our society. We can only begin to undo the trauma and injustice by centering the voices of the people who have been most impacted.